of the women's OUA soccer match between the Algoma University Thunderbirds and the Laurentian Voyagers. It's Laurentian up 1-0, and we are at halftime right now with the Algoma University Thunderbirds men's team starting goalie Alex Burt. Welcome to the booth, Alex.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And maybe let's start from the beginning. You're a first-year player from Pickering, and just want to talk to you about how you ended up choosing Algoma University and maybe describe the process for our listeners.
Well, originally I reached out to several schools in the OUA. Sam and his coaching staff were the most interested. He was calling me about every week, letting me know that this program was for me. There's an opportunity for me to play, that I would get 90 minutes for most games, and as a goalkeeper, that's really important.
Yeah, of course.
So I talked with my family. They said it's a great place to get some schooling, get some minutes as a footballer, and just to progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did have a chance to talk to your head coach, and he did talk to me about the process, and he really wanted you here. And it's got to be a good feeling as an athlete to be wanted by any team and any program. So I know that was the case with you.
Of course. I've played on several teams, just like my club teams back home, where there's so many goalkeepers, so many players, and you just don't have that feeling of, they want me. I'm supposed to be on the team. Like, I'm included. Whereas, like, here I feel it 100%. The team's, like, I'm included. I'm a part of the plan.
Yes.
And there's a future for me.
Yeah, you're certainly a major piece as you close out your season. And, I guess the question I would have for you is, what does it mean to you to be a starting goalie, not only in the OUA, but particularly for the Algoma University Thunderbirds? What does it mean to you?
Well, there's so much history in the OUA, and obviously Algoma is a new program, but we're trying to build something. It's been a very tough year, just to say the least, but we're trying to get the core back. We have a young core, so we just want to bring that back, and I think we can really set something else for the future and build Algoma, bring a name to the program, and allow for new players to look when they see the rankings, the standings, say, hey, that's a good side. They're competing.
Yeah,
and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. A good up-and-coming team, and certainly it's got to be fun to be a part of building the program and the brand. And I'm going to shift a little bit to where you're coming off of essentially 2 losses last week to the Toronto Varsity Blues. I know you got the start in Game 2. What did you learn from those games in Toronto?
Well, I'd been living in Toronto for almost all my life, so I'd grown up around Varsity Stadium. And it's probably the most beautiful place to play in the OUA. The setting is fantastic, right downtown. You see the skyline in the background. So when I did have the opportunity to start in goal, I think I just kind of enjoyed the moment, whereas I knew the game was going to be tough. They're a big program, a lot of good players just from around the Toronto area, like TFC Academy and whatnot. So I knew it was going to be a tough game. But I think I just enjoyed the moment and really just lived it up.
Yeah, good. That's kind of cool, like you said, for being somebody from that area. Okay, that was like for the tough questions. I'm going to move to something a little lighter, and maybe give us a little insight into what's your favorite pre-game meal. As we got Laurentian, we got the game starting here, so we'll see what sort of builds up here, and then I'll ask you the question again. As Laurentian looks to get on the attack, and it's cleared by the T-Birds now, as Alex is more into the game than this interview. So
we got a good counter
We're
attack.
going to watch this play out as Lindsay Horton has stepped up. I've seen that a few times just coming out of the halftime that Horton has been into the offense.
I think she's been very aggressive today. She's provided a good presence at the back for the team.
And that is a takedown in the box that the ref turns the other way. I don't know. And you see Rosso having a conversation. But that, to me, looked definitely like a PK opportunity, and I've tried to call it even all season. So,
well, they've come out with a good intensity to start. I think if they can bring this for another 15 minutes, they'll crack a goal.
Yeah, and here's Rosso on the attack. So we're going to cut off the interview here for a second as the T-Birds are in on the attack, and we're going to have our friend Anton Peters join us back. He's made his debut in the booth. He's made it a good one so far.
The fantastic fullback.
Yeah, the fantastic fullback who's in the sin bin and joining me up here.
One too many yellow cards
as
last weekend.
He is unavailable for the men's game. I wasn't going to mention that, but since you brought it up. So we got a goal kick for Laurentian, and I know you got to get down and join the rest of your mates, but did want to kind of shift to something a little lighter in terms of questions, and maybe you can give us a little bit of insight into what your pregame ritual and your pregame meal looks like. What's your favorite pregame meal?
So a lot of our games have been earlier in the afternoon, so more of a breakfast, maybe some eggs, some beans, just some toast. I think like the carbs, and protein to give me that energy for the game. I think that works. But if we have a nighttime kickoff, maybe some pasta, just a little light pasta dish, and that should be okay.
Well, there you go. Some tips from the goaltender, and he even gave you time specific. And most of these games do kick off early in the OUA, but if you do have a nighttime game, Burt says pasta's the way to go. So thank you for the tips. And as we close out, I just want to find out from you, what do we expect in your last game here on the season and in your last home game? What are you expecting?
Well, there's nothing to lose, so I think we're just trying to get some points on the board to end the season. Maybe just look forward to next year, say let's bring the energy, finish off strong, and try and bring that same energy to next season. So that's all we can really look forward to, and just try and do it for the graduating guys. We got Rafa Valentini, Yves, even we got E-Man in net, so shout out to them, and thank you for all the help and pushing they've been doing for the younger guys for this program. They've put in a lot of work.
Yeah, it's mighty nice of you being a first-year player, mentioning some of the veterans, and I know we're going to highlight them before the start of the game, but shows your maturity that you give the nod to the veterans. I certainly appreciate that from my point of view. That's it for the formal interview. We're going to just play a little bit of, I call this a little of this and that, where do this with the basketball players, where we give them kind of two items, and then you got to choose one of the two. So we're gonna try that with you.
All right.
Sound okay? Okay. So you are a student. Do you prefer morning class or night class?
I think I said this last time around. A night class is a little bit better for me. Get adjusted, finish the work, go home, bang out the homework, and you're good. Get to rest. Okay,
perfect. And yeah, what about from a caffeination perspective? Is it Tim Hortons or Starbucks in your point of view?
I got to stick with the Canadian company, so let's go for Tim Hortons.
Going for the Oakville-based Tim Hortons. And now we're going to get into music. Shawn Mendes, who is from your hometown of Pickering, or the Toronto boy Drake?
More into the hip-hop and R&B, so I'll stick with Drake.
Not a bad choice in any of those two. I like them both. Really like the Pickering kid. How about pizza? We're going to go a local pizza shop called Aurora's for those listening from the GTA or from Sudbury. So Aurora's Pizza or Domino's Pizza?
Well, Coach Mandalia brought me out to Aurora's the first time I was here, and I thought it was pretty good, so I'll have to go with Aurora's.
Oh, he tried to impress you. He's very familiar with Aurora's, so good choice by the coach. And as we got Laurentian here on the attack, we're going to close out here. Toronto FC or the Maple Leafs? Both teams, well, FC struggled this year. Leafs off to a bad start. What do you prefer between those two clubs?
Well, I'm a footballer, so I'll have to go with Toronto FC, but I got to shout out Masters Football Academy back home. They got a big playoff game today, so that's my real club.
Oh, there we go. Nice shout out back home. We appreciate that. And I don't think any of the Voyageurs players are listening, but I'm going to give you a scenario. Penalty shot. I'm a left footer, and you have no tape on me. Which way you guessing, left or right?
Well, my partner here, broadcast partner Anton Peter, he's a left footer, so I've been working with him a lot in training. But I think maybe let's go to my left or the bottom right-hand corner.
All right, that's perfect. Good insight as we got Laurentian in on the attack. And we got Anton's going to jump back in here in a second, but I do want to thank you, Alex, for joining us. I know we tried to do this a couple weeks ago, but the technology was not on our side. But certainly glad to have you back in the booth and a part of not only Algoma University, but Sault Ste Marie as well. So it was good to have some young, new faces in Sault Ste Marie, and best of luck the rest of the season, and definitely with your schooling as well.
Yes, thank you so much. And again, let's go Algoma.
Okay. Have a great game, and thanks again.